Hi, Dana.
Oh, hi. Hi, Grace. How you doing?
I'm good.
Oh, it's such a fancy chair.
Yeah, we gave
Hi, guys. Oh. I'm going to knock all of this over. I just want Kelly Maxwell is cool. Dana DeLorenzo is not. They had to have safety meetings on set for me to not trip over things and set the whole set on fire. Hi, guys. Oh, wow. I feel very... Dana interview. I'm so happy to be here. Hi, sorry. I interrupted you. Hi, go ahead.
No, it's obvious what I was saying. This is the Dana DeLorenzo interview, so making sure you're in the right place.
I mean, it's okay if you're not.
Yeah,
It's
just
fine.
hang
You
out.
can stay. You're allowed.
So, I'm Tori. I'm a panelist, and this is...
I'm Bree.
And we're part of Are You Afraid of the Dark podcast. And
Wait, are you afraid of dark
so-
podcast? Don't speed through that.
It's fine.
I'll give you some buttons later.
Dude, that was my jam in the day.
We talk about a kids show, but it's real inappropriate, you know. Like,
We talk
Perfect.
that being
Totally.
said, if there's any kids in the audience, this might end up being pretty inappropriate.
Oh yeah, are there children?
Yeah.
Are there?
Yeah.
Or, okay, if you guys are, if anyone is not here, doesn't watch our show or know me, I tend, when I slip into Kelly, my character ended up being very creative with the F-bombs. So I can keep a G. If someone tells me that I will, but maybe not.
No, we're not going to do that. In fact,
Well, fucking great then.
we're just going to ask really serious questions, like, Bree.
Yeah, so fuck, marry, kill. Ash, Pablo, Ruby. Oh.
Dude, fucking fist bump. I've never been asked that question ever. Right favorite. Okay, but who is it again?
Ash, Pablo, and Ruby. Fuck, marry, kill.
Okay. As Kelly Maxwell, oh, that's tough.
I know.
Oh, I don't
Or
want
is
to.
you, or
I don't
is
want to kill any of them.
How about Mame?
Oh, I mean, I guess I gotta. I mean, that's hard. Kelly Maxwell would not want to fuck. She'd be like, no, I would fuck Ruby before I'd fuck either of those guys. All right, but who wouldn't? But Lucy Lawless, I mean, who wouldn't? Marry Pablo, kill Ash. I don't know. That's terrible. I don't. I love them all. I'd marry them all. I'd fuck them all. How about that?
Big happy family. Yeah.
I
love
feel
it.
so little.
The chairs are massive.
But good question.
Yeah, so when Bruce Campbell came to Bree's house, he bogarted the joint that we smoked with him. Does he do that with you too? Or is that...
Bogarted. Yeah, no, there is no puff give. It's puff 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 puff
Yeah.
puff
We know.
puff. Yeah.
He holds
Yeah.
on to it.
Yeah. It's bad shit too. It's like swag.
Yeah, we got to meet him. Bree won the biggest Evil Dead fan contest.
Wait. What is this?
IGN put on a contest that was called the Ultimate Evil Dead Fan right before the Evil Dead remake came out in 2012.
Okay.
Is when I won.
Wait,
And,
but what was the con? I mean, IGN's a big deal. What was the contest?
The contest.
Because I've
was-
seen your Ash cosplay. It's bad Ash.
Thank you. They just asked you for a paragraph. And
Dom,
I
that was for you.
Just
Okay.
said all the keywords that they wanted to hear, and so they said I won. And so we came to our
Don't
house.
undersell it. Just be honest. You said everything you felt, and you win because There's a lot of fans, dude.
He's on.
Oh, and you have his face on your leg.
And I got Cheryl.
Oh man,
And I got a chainsaw. So.
dude.
He's a really
I feel
nice guy.
no. He's the
Great.
best.
Yeah, he's great.
No. Bruce Campbell is the best.
The
He
absolute
plays
best.
this asshole, and he plays. Here's what I tell people. I really can't stand how little I feel in this. I need a phone book. No, it's
A
okay.
booster.
This is meant for big man Bruce. Like this is like I'm this compared to him. It was the book's fault. I'm telling you.
I did
All right.
open it and read it. So
Good
sorry.
thing it's not a wedding ring, guys. Very excited. I told you I'm gonna knock something over. By the way, whoever has the mic, sorry for when you edit me and I'm all in the red. Bruce Campbell. He plays, what I like to say is it takes someone very intelligent to play someone so stupid. It is true. It's actually true. And I don't know if you guys have listened to or read any of his books. If this is being recorded, Bruce Campbell, you can give me $20 now because I'm plugging your shit.
He only hands out things.
Oh, he was cheap with you. He handed out every time we've done panels together. He's handed out hundreds of people, and I was like, I love you too. His books are so good because he's a great writer. He has phenomenal stories in his career, and he writes like he speaks. So if you like Bruce Campbell, and even if you like Bruce Campbell and you're like, fuck reading, like Ash Williams would say, listen to, he records his own audiobook. So anyway, I don't know. I have nothing to gain by it. I'm just saying, as somebody who's also a fan of Bruce Campbell, he's a really smart guy. He's a super generous guy. Even though he plays these jerks, he's awesome. I love Uncle Bruce. Uncle Bruce, love him.
But this isn't about Bruce. This is about you.
Yeah, fuck Bruce!
When did you realize you wanted to be like a performer? Is that something from when you were young?
Yeah, great question. I'm glad you said performer instead of actor, because that really is, my parents always said that. They're like, you're more of a performer. I love an audience. I'm like the most insecure, neurotic person, so real good having a camera this close from your face, and you're like, eh. That's why if you guys have noticed anyone who's taking a picture with me, I much prefer the fun photos when I choke you or punch you, because I'm just uncomfortable in front of a camera. Great career to get into, but I love performing. I like entertaining, I would say the earliest I remember, but also that we actually have recordings of. I'm an '80s kid, and back then, cassettes were a thing, and I have at like age 2.5. My parents got me a Fisher Price tape recorder for kids. And I would record myself with all of my Sesame Street doll, all of them, and Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. They were all there, or Bert and Ernie and Big Bird and everybody. And I would sit, apparently, they have a picture of me doing it, but I have the tapes of me telling jokes to myself and cracking myself up. Like, I'm talking, I have them, I've listened to them. I mean, I think they're pretty good. They're the caliber at 2.5, 3 years old that was like, what did the apple say to the t-shirt? He said, hello, Big Bird. Ah! And that was my psycho-possessed laugh. Like, when you listen to it and I go, ah! Like cracking myself up.
Not unlike a deadeye.
Exactly. I think I was destined.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I've just always loved the idea of performing, even if it's just for myself and Big Bird. My whole life, I really never, I had always dreamed I would get to do it. But it's one of those things when and I'm sure any of you out there who have everyone has some sort of passion. And it's like, sure, you'd like that to be your daily job. But at the same time, that comes with a lot of heartache and a lot of sacrifice. And so at the end of the day, it's like, I just need to do it. However I do it doesn't need to be my main job. And I was okay with that. Just as long as I got to do it, and I always found a way to do it. And then I got really lucky. And after a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in this business, I hit the jackpot with this. And there's not a day that goes by that I'm not grateful for it. That's the truth. It sounds cheesy. I'm sorry. Let me get back to fucking Kelly Maxwell, who's cool. I'm so vulnerable with my honesty, but it's true. I'm really grateful, guys. Thank you for embracing sidekicks in this universe.
Well, your character is very beloved, and I think every fan really embraced her.
I'm so grateful for that too, but the credit has to go to everybody on the team, because I wrote an article about it, actually, a guest spot for iHorror back in 2016, and it's called It Takes a Village to Raise a Strong Female Character. And really, there are so many unsung heroes that people we don't know their names, and it's like, dude, Barbara Dara, who was our wardrobe designer, like before I got out there, I was like, oh, I was thinking, again, because all I had when I got the part was my audition scenes. And I don't think I even had the script yet. And my audition scene was actually, fun fact, that scene you see, the very first scene with Kelly with Ash in the value stop, that was my audition scene. It stayed pretty much the same. But you don't know anything else about the character. And so I was like, hey, I don't know, the way I saw her or felt her was, she was very rock and roll. She like cuts her own t-shirts and like, she just, I don't know, it's one of those like scrappy, badass, like with a ball buster with a heart of gold kind of people. And Barbara Dara took that and ran with it. And like, I put on that costume, like when we were trying stuff on, I was like, purple leather yes, like a fuck the clock Patti Smith shirt, what the fuck, yes. And then I've actually posted in the, back when we were still on air, I posted pictures of her. She'd find these shirts and buy 10 of them, and then because you have to have multiples of everything, and then she would cut them on me, like literally. There's a picture of her with scissors and me being like, and like, and anyway, that and the writers, like we had such great those lines I get to say, man. That's everybody, the people who make the blood, for goodness sake, like it's a lot of blood, guys, a lot of blood. And no, it is not sticky. It is, it turns into a wax in 5 minutes, and I don't know why I'm the first person, or I don't really know anybody else who's saying this, but it's the facts. It turns into a wax, so it hardens. And I don't know if any of y'all have ever been waxed in places you shouldn't be, but when you're wearing a lace shirt and a bra and you get covered in 26 gallons of blood, episode 1, season 2, with the barman's arms, and then you're covered, right? And okay, great. And then in 5 minutes it dries your clothes to your skin, it dries your hair. So someone calls your name and you turn and it's like, Kelly Clarkson, you know, like that scene when 40-Year-Old Virgin with Steve Carell. That's what I always think about.
Crack your shirt.
Yeah, no, exactly, but it like rips your skin with it. So and like, forget if you have to go to the bathroom, because taking off these, you're like, like, so the genius behind it, I think I'm onto Sam Raimi, because you beg to be covered in more blood so it stays wet. Fucking Sam, genius.
That is genius.
Genius, right?
Yeah, really.
And he's like, well, Dana, I don't really know what you're talking about. I certainly did. I was like, okay, Sam, yes, you did. But it looks awesome, and I miss it. I never thought I'd miss getting covered in blood and guts and viscera.
Totally.
I'm uncomfortable without it. It's like, I don't...
Well, I'm uncomfortable with you not doing it too. It was really frustrating that the show got,
I know.
didn't get to go on.
You know, in fairness, they really wanted it to. Just the what am I trying to say? The compliment, but also the insult is that, and I'm not blaming fans. I'm just stating the facts. That fact of the matter was that too many people downloaded it illegally. It was like the number.
We all did this.
No, I get it. I mean, I get it. No, but that's just it. I feel like Starz everyone's like been shitting on Starz, and in fairness, they let us have, from what I understand, they let us have carte blanche. What other network's gonna let you have a fight with a colon? Come on, you know? And a sperm bank, oh my God, too much. But they were, I know Bruce, and they were talking about 5 seasons, and it's like, but at the same time, they gotta pay people's salaries, I guess, so.
Right.
You know, but at least we got it, and like Bruce says, you know, he said, look, the fans, the lifelong fans, the OG fans, pestered Sam and I for 30 fucking years to do another Evil Dead, like with Bruce. And he said, and finally we did that, and that was the show.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, I'm just grateful I got to be part of it as someone who was a fan of the franchise, and I know that Bruce has said, you know, and at least we got that. And if nothing else, if you put all the seasons together, all 3 seasons, it's like 5.5 hours each season. That's like what, 10 movies? I don't know. You know?
Uncut.
Exactly. I'm just seeing that little back of the head of Kelly Pop Doll. I love those
Yeah.
pop dolls.
Oh yeah, I'm like,
I love just their big dumb heads. I love their
We
big
didn't
dumb
have a
heads.
table, so I had to kind of.
No, I'm
improvise.
seeing. Okay, I would like everyone to see. Wait, is this all your paraphernalia?
Okay, so
I'm sorry, I'm
yeah.
derailing you, but
do you know what that is?
no, I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Is this what with Pablo episode 2? Yeah, no, I love this.
I won that on an auction when the show ended.
Did you spend money on this?
I
would
did.
have broken a bottle and given it to
I
you.
did. It was the only thing I could get. Everything went so fast, or for so much money. That was what I got, but I'm happy with it.
I should have sold some of my stuff.
Yeah.
$10. Who wants it? All right, that fuck you next.
Do you know what that is? No, I'm just kidding.
That is a giant steroid dagger.
It's huge.
But I love it.
It's unwieldy, but
I
it's
love
cool.
it.
Yeah.
But
You want me to get her? You want me to-
no, I just want to leave her there. I just love those big dumb heads on all the pop dolls.
I think that was one of the first
Oh, hi.
pop figures that I bought. Was you. So.
I'm
There you go.
honored.
Thanks.
Aw. I like playing. I'm glad it's out of the box too, because I know
Yeah.
that's like some people. It's like sacrilege. I'm like, what are you gonna do with it when it's not gonna be
Yeah.
worth anything? I have all of them, like our show, so I play with them.
I wish I had the
Hey,
bloody
we
versions, but-
gas up the chainsaw, Pablo. I'm like, Jesse, no.
Do you make them kiss?
Yeah.
No! Kelly was so against that because then when you fall in love, you die in that world, you know? But yes. Yes, I do. I do make them. I do. I do.
So you're also kind of a theater nerd.
I
you-
suppose you
Did
could
you ever see any productions of Evil Dead the Musical?
Yeah, and I got to go and what is it called? The splash zone.
Oh yeah.
I got to go with the blood guns and be like, yeah! That was,
Your comfort zone.
yeah, I was so comfortable in that scene.
And-
Yeah, actually, Lindsay Ferris, who played the new guy, Dalton, in season 3, we got to do that in the Bay Area a couple years ago. It was so
That's
much fun.
great.
I love my favorite song. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? What a great song! I
The
loved
whole
it.
thing is really
it's so
fun.
good.
If anyone locally would like to check that out, there's a production this year at the Renton Civic Center, October 14th through the 31st. So go do
Dude,
that.
guys, go! I'm not kidding.
It's
Go
fun.
see it. Like I have nothing to gain from that. By telling you that, go see it.
Get him! There's danger. Things get hairy.
Come
you
up here, my
survive.
fly. Come up here. Yeah, keep walking. I just realized you paid a lot of money for that, so I'm gonna put it down.
Yeah, it's rubber though.
It's worth more now that you've like threatened
Yeah.
people.
Now that you have my DNA, you can frame me for a crime.
Now I
Perfect.
just need some blood.
So you also you were in an Amy Winehouse tribute band, right? You were talked about it earlier, and I wasn't sure if you wanted to talk about
Did
it.
I talk about it earlier?
Well, when we met up with you.
Oh yeah.
Not right now.
Did I?
No.
When was that? Yesterday? Oh, it feels like
I know.
a lifetime. Yes, I was for a time back when my Chicago days. While Amy Winehouse was still alive, it was one of these things where it was right before she hit really big here. It was right on the cusp, and I was working on the radio at the time, and the rapper Twista was like, "You look like a little Amy Winehouse," and it was one of those things that like I loved her. I will never forget when I heard her voice on. It was like a commercial on a TV, and I was doing like straightening my hair, and I heard this voice, and I ran out and missed it, and then it happened again. I was again straightening my hair, getting ready to go work at a hotel very similar to this, at Hard Rock Hotel Chicago, and I remember running to my TV because I would have it on the background and seeing it and being like, she's a little white girl with that voice. I remember just being like, wow. And so the Amy Winehouse band, it's a long story, but I didn't set out to do it, that's for sure, because first of all, she's here. Anybody, I'm sorry, I will geek out about her, so I'm gonna just shut up. But anybody here likes music, and if you think you know what you know about her, you might not. Yeah, check out her stuff.
I
really.
mean, not to plug something else, but we're gonna. There's karaoke tonight at 8.
13th floor.
Yeah, room 1375.
Yeah.
On the 13th floor.
Wait, it's literally a room. I would hate whoever was next to me. Like, you're gonna do that to people?
Okay, we have the 13th floor parties. It's gonna.
Oh
be
my
crazy
God,
all
there's
the
a
time.
13th floor in this
Yeah.
hotel?
Yeah.
That's usually not the case.
Well, they call it the penthouse, but for
That's how they get around it.
Yeah.
All right, well, maybe. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Karaoke
We'll see.
room. Just saying. I don't know what they have, but
Or any of you
it's
guys.
worth a shot.
I mean, I just don't know if this is the right crowd for Amy Winehouse. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh, someone clapped.
Yeah.
You guys that makes me love you even more. Give it up for Amy Winehouse. She's badass.
So the show has arguably some of the most creative gore and special effects on television to date. Do you have a favorite or most memorable, since it's hard to pick favorites, Deadite kill?
Of my own?
Yes.
I mean, I'm always partial to my firsts. That deli slicer with that meat tenderizer.
Yeah.
Basis loves it.
We love it because we work in a sandwich shop, so we have a meat slicer.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh yeah, I
Well,
thought of that.
Yeah, and I love it because I'm Italian and I always like eating meat. But and that was such a wild. I only got one take because we were in double overtime, and the expression "hurry up and wait," where you're there at I wake up at 2 a.m. You get in the makeup chair, you're there, and you do it's a lot of waiting around, and so you're like trying to get in the zone, and I'm like, okay, it's gonna be a first, and then it's like 12 hours, and then finally the moment has come, and I know the magnitude of it. It's Kelly's first kill. And they were like, all right, we got one take. I'm like, are you serious? And then I was beating. I just snorted. It was a prop meat tenderizer. So I do the deli slicing of the face. And we started with the stunt girl when I put her down and we go and I drag her, boom. Obviously we weren't slicing her face. Then they put the rig and the blood rig and that's going okay. The blood rigs were always divas. They decided to work when they wanted to. And it was like, look guys, we gotta go. It was the blood rig's fault. Cause if it doesn't work and it goes like, that's not exciting.
No.
And you're like, come on, we're running out of time. Okay. So then they gave me a prop meat tenderizer. And similar to me not knowing how to control the volume of my voice, I don't know how to control my Italian motherfucking beating, I broke, in this scene you see it, when I'm like, you wanna fuck with me and my friends, and I'm beating this prop deadite head that is filled like a sponge with blood, so it's getting everywhere. There's a camera right there. Everybody's under plastic, which, by the way, that's when you know it was a bloody day, when the whole rest of the set is under plastic and the guys, you worry they're gonna suffocate. It'd be like someone behind that camera with a tent of plastic around them, and you don't even see them. You're just like, oh, okay. It's a bloody day today, guys. And so then I was just so beat the head so hard that the top of the meat tenderizer flew off. And so if you go back and watch it, you see me doing this. After the slicing, you want to fuck with me, my friends? Ha, da-da-da. And I think they cut to Pablo and Ash, and then they see me, and then it flies back. I walk back, and then I scream in the background and just go, ah! You just got 86! Because if anyone's worked in the service industry, that means you're out of something. So it's like, you got next. But I was really zero acting in that whole scene. That was all of it coming through. That was all of it. All my Sicilian mafia rage.
Yeah, so Sam Raimi puts, his good friend Bruce through the ringer all the time.
Oh, his good old buddy, old pal.
Do you have some stories about when he directed you on the first episode?
Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Do I have stories about Sam Raimi?
Yeah.
I got a lot of stories, but first of all, I will say a standout moment for me was watching Sam Raimi firsthand in that first episode, torture Bruce. Because Bruce is actually very intimidating. I'm not joking. Like
He's
really
huge.
Yeah, like yeah, he is. And he also just has
He's
they
got
all
swagger.
yes, but so did, I gotta be honest, so did Lee Majors, so did Lucy Lawless. They have a presence. Like you feel them before they walk in the room. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Anyway. And so, I was intimidated as shit, but like pretended I wasn't, and so I was always like, so that was exactly, I had a good impression of it. So then watching in that, there was this, in the first episode that the little Lori doll, the doll comes to life, but his Sam, I don't even remember why he did it, other than he just, I think, really just wanted to torture Bruce. So there's a picture, you can look it up, it's on the internet. I was there when the picture was taken, and I was standing next to Bruce's wife Ida and Ray, and we were all laughing our ass off because there's a picture of Sam with this little Lori doll on a stick. Now it was all CGI in the movement, but like the first shot that he did was so that Bruce knew what it was going to be like. So here's Bruce, and here's Sam with the doll on a stick going in Bruce's face. And Sam, I wish I could recreate it for you. Sam's look of like, I'm gonna give, and he's batting him, like really hitting him in the face. And he's like, ow, ow, ow. And Sam's like, yeah. And he's like so angry and so excited at the same time. It's my favorite. But
That's a beautiful memory.
that is a great memory. Yeah, no, I could go on and on about why Sam Raimi is who he is, and he's the best director I've ever had, and I could go on and on about him. But I'll stop.
So we all know Kelly has very colorful language, and aside from Ash, probably has some of the most funny lines in the whole show. Did you ad-lib any of those? Did they keep any that you made up?
They did keep a few, or I asked permission. Like the writers were awesome. Sam Raimi set the bar where he asked me before we even started shooting really the first episode, which is the one he directed. All the other episodes had different directors, but that was the one he was there for. And he said, I'd love to, he's like, well, Dana, I'd love for you to sit down. He goes, this is what he said. This is what Sam Raimi is like. You're like, what? He's like, now, mind you, this is my first 2 weeks in there. We haven't even started shooting. And he said, Dana, I was hoping you would do me a favor. And I was like, yes, sure, anything. He was like, I was hoping you could sit down with me and help me write some of the dialogue for the next episode with your mother. And when she's a deadite and then she goes back into normal and then goes into a deadite, like something that's really going to affect you. And I was like, I'm not going to write. No, thank you, but no. He's like, he said, I'm serious. I want you to sit with me and help me write it. And I was like, okay, that's the kind of person he is. Like, it's Sam Raimi. The hell do I know? This is his baby. But that he sets the bar. So the writers were really good about that as well, where if I ever had a suggestion as an alt line, meaning here's the script, hey, on a different take, or once we get that line, can I maybe do a version of this? And they would say yay or nay. And one of them again, I'm crediting the writers for everything. They never get enough credit. But one of the ones I suggested as an alt that they used and changed it, the line to that was, back off now or I'll fuck your faces with bullets. That one, that was mine.
Yeah, that's a haiku.
Thank you.
So Mimi Rogers played your mom.
Yes.
What's that like to work with her?
Oh man, again, it was because that was at the beginning. It was second episode. I mean, I was still trying to find my footing. The whole first season, I had no idea what I was doing. I was worried every episode I was gonna die. You don't get the script. What?
Couldn't tell.
Are you being sarcastic?
No.
Oh, well, good. I was every episode, and then Ray would fuck with me and be like, I know what happens to you next episode, and I was like, what? And he would always be very, coy about it, because somehow Ray got his hands on all the scripts every time. But I was, look, we all knew it was possible. So working with Mimi, again, that was straight away. it was such an incredible experience because I will say, you guys, being a Deadite, man, I'm sad I never got to be one, like a true Deadite. I really wanted to be one, but I gotta give credit because it is the hardest job. Because first of all, when you get tested for what size for those scleras, the white eyes, they're glass. It's like hard shell. You're blind when you have them in. Absolutely, it's like looking at a white, you're blind. Someone has to guide you around, which is creepy when you see someone like being guided to go to the cafeteria. And you're like, they're in the makeup chair at 2 a.m. to get all of that. Again, I'm not saying like tiny fiddle. I'm just saying though, it's so hard because it really is. They deserve all more credit. But Mimi was so good and so terrifying, and like was in all that makeup and just I what was it like? Look, I'm like kind of geeking out. I haven't been asked about her in a while. It was tremendous, and there was no acting in that scene either. To be honest, she terrified me.
So she did her own stunts, right?
She did, well, yes, we all did our own stunts to the point that insurance would let us.
Okay.
So, like, yes, when she was like up on the wall and stuff, or being, they wouldn't let her do that. But yeah, no, she did, she was there doing all of that. I mean, I don't think she got punched in the face, but you know.
Okay, yeah, I read somewhere that she did her own stunts and like.
Yeah, no, she did.
And something got hurt. I don't know.
She did throw her back out at some point. Yeah. No, for sure. She was, because that's why when I had to hug her, and then she turns, you're right, because then she turns to do a Deadite when she's back to normal, but at the moment, she was Deadite. We did the Deadite part first and then went backwards. So she was like, when I went to hug her in the scene and then they reveal and it's her and I scream, now mind you, she's in those, I mean, the Deadites are so terrifying in person. They're worse than what it looks like on screen. I'm serious. And yeah, so she goes, so I had to like hold her and then they reveal and then it's like her and she screams. And I remember like being in that scene and she's like, and in her scleras, she's like, just try not to hug me too tight. I threw my back out, but her eyes were like this. I was like, okay, yeah. I like don't know. It was terrifying, but she's incredible. What an actor! Wow, what an honor. It was an honor.
I have a question. What did the pink fuck taste like?
The sea.
I'm sorry,
it was
the sea?
As in the ocean. Have you ever taken a mouthful of salt water in the ocean and gone like, and then swallowed it and then been like, that sucked?
I hate that.
Ted Raimi, it was water and food coloring, except the ketamine was a pile of salt. And if you watch it, Ted Raimi, one of my best friends, is after the show. Like, I love that guy. Talk about talent. I love him. He's the best. And him and Bruce together, by side note, watching them that season was one of my greatest joys. Sam and Bruce's relationship, totally different than Sam and Ted. It was like then Bruce and Ted. It was like the Ted and Bruce radio hour. But then also it was, but in the best way. One's not better than the other. They're just different in the best ways. Anyway, Ted, if you watch in the scene, he's going like this. Well, like when he's telling the ingredients, and he just keeps going like this. And the prop master, the art designer, or whatever, said, "All right, Ted, you don't need to scoop any of it. We've done it, so just like pretend you're doing it because we're not going to see it." He did it. So when you see my reaction of like, after I do it and I'm like making that face, that is a real reaction to drinking a mouthful of salt. That was that.
Did you have to do that more than one take?
Sure did.
Nice.
Sure did. He did it every take. And I was like, "Ted, can you not do that this take?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about." And I was like, "Oh, God." He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know." I was like, "Okay, okay, and then I'm watching it right before again on another take. I was like, oh god. It's great though. Which funny, in the video game they call it Pink F, and the people who haven't seen the show who play the video game have no idea. They're like, oh, what do you think that? I don't know what that is. And it's like, yeah, no, because they don't watch the show. Or like there's like Shemp's, we have to, because the video game's like G-rated, so you can't say Shemp's beer. You have to say Shemp's, it's Shemp's Cola, helps your health or something. And and I was watching a Twitch and they were calling it Schweppes. And I'm like, oh God, watch the show.
That's so wholesome.
It's adorable.
If Kelly had to make her own signature cocktail, what would it be?
Straight whiskey.
Nice. Do you have a favorite Linda?
The first movie I had, She Haunts My Dreams. Not Betsy. Yeah, the Betsy. No, is it Betsy? Yeah, it's Betsy Becker. Michelle Hurd, who played Linda in season 2, also one of my dear friends. I love that woman, so I'm gonna just, because I love her. So again, it's hard to pick a favorite, but in terms of OG, the most terrifying, sure, but I love Michelle Hurd. We had a lot of fun together. Especially when she let me punch her in the face.
So the series slowly built towards the reveal that Kelly was actually Ash's estranged daughter in a scrapped season 2 finale idea. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Or had you developed that character and then they scrapped it, so you had to change what you were going to do?
Yeah, one of the producers decided the week before we were going to shoot that to nix that. So it was a little strange because the showrunner and the writers we sort of put all these little hints about that, which I only found that out at the start of season 2 that was where it was going to be. But the thing was, it wasn't that Ash was her father all along. It was, we go back in time, which we did, and I actually thought it was brilliant, with the writing of it, which was the scene with Mimi Rogers in the second episode where he's questioning her, what's your favorite book? The old man in the sea. It's not about you, Dad. Like that whole conversation, but like the questions he was asking her. What do you do? I'm a teacher. What do you teach? English. What's your favorite book? The Old Man in the Sea. That scene was apparently was going to be, when we go back in time, she was going to be like a version of me, like Kelly's age. Mm-hmm. And he goes back in time. He sees, even they say, Ruby warns him, don't screw up the timeline. Sure. And he does, though. He goes in, he's like, well, I could have a quick beer. He goes in, sees this woman he's attracted to, and they have that conversation. Okay? But I don't know if he didn't realize but then they go and have a quickie in the bathroom. So he changed. It's not like Kelly was always meant to be his daughter. It was like he changed his history, which he wasn't supposed to. And then when Kelly and Ruby simultaneously are fighting the tree, mm-hmm. Or towards the end of that whole thing, they're in the woods. The book, she's like, someone's opened the book, and then you see next to Ash in the book that like all of a sudden Kelly's being formed, and I start like dying though, because that means my existence doesn't exist. It's a whole thing. That's all I remember from what I read, but it's a little complicated, so I feel like someone was like, yeah, no. And I actually am fine either way, because I get why they did that. I mean, in terms of wanted Kelly to be that, but I kind of think it makes her strong to just be that on her, to be who she was without her being Ash's daughter. You know what I mean? Right. I think they were going to undo it anyway, like, oh, he has to go back in time now and fix that fuck. You know? But yeah, and honestly, like Ariel Carver O'Neill, who's one of my best friends, she played Brandy. She was such a champ and took so much shit and so much blood that took a little bit off of Ray and I, which was nice.
Well, you gotta get the new kid.
Yeah, no, that was now I see why Bruce was always smirking when Ray and I got it first season, because then you're like, oh, it's not us.
Yeah.
You know? But she killed it, honestly. So I think it was the right, I like where it all went.
She was a great addition.
She really was. She was the best. I love her.
One more question for you. If Kelly were to lose a limb, which weapon would you equip? on it.
If Kelly were to lose a limb, which weapon? That's a great question. I got it. I would lose my middle finger and I would let it be a flamethrower.
That's a good one.
Kelly,
I'm really proud of that.
I'm like really proud of you too.
I really want Kelly to have her flamethrower. It's all she wanted.
I really liked that. Okay, so we're gonna open up for questions from you
You
guys.
guys asked so many good questions. Can I just
Thank
thank
you.
you?
Of course.
Thank you. Great. No pressure, guys. No
Yeah,
pressure.
No pressure. Follow this
Everyone's
back.
like, she's been talking for 2 hours. We have other people to meet. Can we end it? You guys can go. It's fine. We can all go.
Does anyone, if you have a question, just raise your hand. I know we covered everything. I'm just kidding. We have more questions if you guys don't. So, yes, you.
What do you want to do after, I mean, obviously, at First with Evil Dead, you know, is there something else you want to pursue now? Like, is there something that you're working on?
I'm toying with, I don't know why I'm even saying this, but I'm toying with writing a book of comedic essays because I just have always loved writing. And I'd like to try my hand at my 3-year-old self at stand-up and just fail miserably. I don't know. I'd like to fail miserably, you know? I think that would be fun. Hi, City and Duke. You remember what happened to my pants here in line? Okay.
They look good right now.
Thanks. Okay, great.
Does anyone else have a question? Don't be shy.
I got...
Good question.
Yeah.
Did Bruce ever steal your lines?
Oh! Did someone tell you to ask that?
was it Bruce?
I remember. I already know the answer because I remember.
Oh,
from
that's
Canada
not
to
fair.
New
They're gonna
Jersey.
think I set you
You
up.
mentioned it.
All right, here's $50.
But it's good. I want to hear it again. I want to hear you tell it. No,
Wait,
think
did
it's
I already
hilarious.
tell that?
You told it in New Jersey.
That's a whole different country.
No, look, it's did I say that? Here's the fact. It's Bruce Campbell. He's the boss. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for him. He can have anything. But yeah, if the writers wrote a line of mine that he liked more, he'd just come up and go. There was one specifically I can remember. There's specifically season 1 in the cabin. I don't know if it was like episode 8 or 9 or 9. But there were lines like he's doing this to us when the hikers are there, and I don't Philadelphia. Philadelphia. That was supposed to be my line. And then I don't remember the order of it, but it was like, oh yeah, that's on the train to Philadelphia. And he was supposed to say, with stops in Choklahoma City and Miami. And for whatever reason, again, I think they're all great lines. He comes up, and I just it was amazing. He came up and he was like, we were gonna do the blocking and about to shoot, and so he read the lines. He's like, oh hey. You, that's my line now. And I was like, wait, what? He's like, we're gonna swap. And I was like, okay, boss, sure thing, yeah. But like, I don't know why. He gave me more lines, basically. I got to say 2 things. But yeah, no, but also as he should. It's his thing. I just was always amused by it. What he thought was, because he does, Kelly's line. I don't know. I just loved it, and then I would give him shit about it, like I was that one time. And he pretends he doesn't know what I'm talking. He thinks I'm. He plays a game about it. No, but he has. I mean, let me tell you, I learned so much from Bruce Campbell on how to deliver lines, because that man gets it in one take. I've never seen anything like it. It's really hard when you know a line is funny, you guys. When you know it's funny, think of if you've ever told a joke to a group of people or a story that you know is funny. And then you tell it one time when it was spontaneous and it was funny. You tell it another time, it's not funny. You don't get a laugh because you're trying to make it funny. When you know a line's funny, you can't try and make it funny, but that's hard to do. And he does it, and it's funny every time. And you're just like, take all my lines. Take them.
Well, he has about 100 years of experience, so.
Yeah, but still, it's not easy to do. It's a special to be a king of one-liners. I learned so much from him, honestly. So steal all, take them all.
Yeah, I saw a hand over here. Yeah.
So, would you do a standalone Ghost Beaters movie?
Would I do a standalone Ghost Beaters movie?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Tell Sam Raimi to write it. I'm available. Damn. Torture me all you want.
Any other questions?
What was your initial reaction when you saw like your character, your rendition on the video game?
I
of
freaked
yourself?
out.
Like you see yourself and
I
then see
geeked
your
out.
voice to yourself.
Well, I voiced it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
voiced
yeah.
it, but when I voiced it, I didn't get to see it. You're just in a booth saying lines, and I got to control. Like again, I got to say, "Hey, can I say something like this or something like this?" And they were so open and receptive to it. But yeah, you're just in a booth with a microphone, talking to yourself, doing it. So, as someone who's an old school gamer kid, I crushed some NES. I'm just saying, 80s kid, 90s kid. I was old school NES. Tecmo Bowl, I had a younger brother. Tecmo Bowl, Contra, Super Mario Brothers 3 was my greatest gift ever at 9. And then Sega and all that. So to see myself, it's still, I kind of still go back on them, like, because I haven't played it yet. I don't have a console. So I'm waiting to go play with my brother, and I'm geeking out. I am. Evil Dead is the gift that keeps on giving, you guys. Who knew? Who knew? You die and then you're undead and then you're dead and then you're undead. It's like it keeps giving and giving and giving and giving.
And now there's a new movie coming out.
There is. It's a new. No, spoiler alert. We're not in it. Maybe Bruce is, but Ray and I were like, we're available. Yeah, but it's in very good hands. Sam and Bruce are producing it, and they handpicked this fantastic horror director from Ireland. Lee Cronin is his name. And he wrote it and directed it and was handpicked by them. And I've communicated with him a little bit on Twitter. And I promise you guys it's in good hands. But it's a whole new, you know how like Evil Dead is, I said this to someone the other day, is like, this is how it was described to me by either Bruce or Sam or somebody, Ted, that like if Evil Dead is the universe, Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, the remake, our show, they're all different planets. You know what I mean? Within the universe. So, like, it's their own entity. So, this new one is a new generation, and I can't wait to see how they get tortured.
I saw another hand over here.
Somewhere in the back here.
Okay, who do you think would win in a fight? Ash with the chainsaw hand or Kelly with the flamethrower finger?
Oh, man. I'm Ghost Peter fist bumping you across the room. But I gotta be honest. We all know that answer. It's Ash with that chainsaw. Come on now. Come on. I wish, though, I'd be a close second.
She was on a panel of what was it? Who would win in a fight?
Horror
And Ash made
Showdown.
it so far.
So close.
And we were we were a
They
little
put
drunk, but we were just
Cthulhu
yelling,
on it.
you know.
Yeah, God.
Yeah, you can't fucking beat Cthulhu. Obviously, he was gonna win. For anyone that was at that panel, like, you know how heated that got. Yeah.
I don't know what just happened, but I loved all of that.
Yeah.
I loved all of this conversation.
What's up?
Does Sam Raimi, like, is he able to keep his suits really clean during the bloody scenes, or does he change a lot?
He doesn't get bloody. He's the mastermind. He's the wizard behind the curtain.
I thought he was really hands-on, though.
He is. When he blessed Ray and I with our first blooding. He literally took a paintbrush and went in his suit on all fours. No, he gets down and dirty into it. Somehow, magically, the blood, no, it like sees him and it's like, it like runs away. No, but he does he wears those suits every time, and oh man, I cannot say enough about him. I can't, yes, no, but he does get into it. The blood repels. I don't get it. He's got that aura. It's like they know, but he programmed it that way. Like I said before, all part of his genius. Yeah, but it was very cool to be anointed by actual Sam Raimi. There's a picture of it I have. It's grainy. But like I'm just laughing because it happened not while the camera was rolling. It was like because they were showing the close-up of Deadite Mrs. Johnson in the moment. So he did it off camera, and I'm like just sitting like by the cupboards laughing, like I'm just laughing, and he's like, it's great.
It's like being blessed by it.
No, exactly. It was great. I love that.
Anyone else?
I think everybody's kind of tired of hearing my voice. So,
Yeah, final questions.
But can I just show everybody this great bag?
I brought that because I knew you'd love it. I said
Fuck
it
you!
there.
I'm already dead. That's the title of my book. It'll be out this fall.
Yeah, you can pay for for that one.
Residuals,
I will.
yeah.
I'm gonna
Actually,
trademark that.
That's a titty bats design. So.
Well.
Did you pick up any hobbies?
Oh, there's more happening. Okay.
We have to run it out.
What?
Well, no
We
one
don't
else has
have to.
questions, yeah?
I feel like we can. Okay, one last one,
One last
and then I
one.
feel like
Did you pick up any hobbies during the pandemic?
I learned how to not kill plants. Yeah.
What is that?
How is that?
Because they're plants that are very hard to kill, like succulents.
I'm asking.
Yeah. No, that was my big thing. I did not make bread. I didn't do anything creative.
Did you ever take that cooking class with Ray?
What is that, like an innuendo?
No. I just saw in an interview you and Ray and Perry talking about taking cooking classes together. I just was wondering if that had happened yet.
Nah, not yet. Right on top of that, Rose. Some of you got it.
Final questions.
Yep.
I think everybody's.
Last chance.
They're like, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. But guys, can I just say though, honestly, you had me at the fuck, marry, kill, and every question through there was fantastic. And thank you guys for the great questions.
Yeah.
Really,
Thank
honestly.
Stuff that we're gonna put up here, so you can come.
Are
grab
you
it.
afraid of the dark? I want to. Thank you guys, everybody. Are You Afraid of the Dark podcast? I'm checking that out. That was my favorite. That mall episode still haunts my dreams.
Oh yeah, the pinball wizard.
Oh,